Now let's talk about service to community. And I say that we help solve problems. Alam mo kapatid, when I was a teenager, I had a dream. And that is, I wanted to serve as a mayor or councilor. Pero syempre, I was underage. And more so, I didn't know how to perform the role. But here's the thing. We don't have to wait for a position or an office so we can serve in the community. We don't have to wait for that. From where you are now, what can you do? If there is a problem right now that you see, what is Jesus telling you? He is telling you to fill the jars with water. Anong ibig kong sabihin? Come journey with me as we go back to the land called Cana in Galilee. From the Gospel according to John chapter 2 verses 1 to 12. Just stay with me, right? 3 days later, there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus was also invited to the wedding with his disciples. When all the wine provided for the celebration had been served, and they had run out of wine, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus replied, "Woman, what concern is that to you and me? My hour has not yet come." However, his mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now nearby were 6 stone water jars set there for ritual washing as practiced by the Jews. Each jar could hold 20 or 30 gallons. And Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them to the brim. Then Jesus said, "Now draw some out and take it to the steward." And so they did. And the steward tasted the water that had become wine without knowing from where it had come. For only the servants who had drawn the water knew. Now immediately he called the bridegroom and said, "Everyone serves the best wine first, and when the people have drunk enough, he serves that which is ordinary. But you have kept the best wine until the end." This miraculous sign was the first, and Jesus performed it in Cana in Galilee. In this way, he showed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. After this, Jesus went down to Capernaum with his mother, his brothers, and his disciples, and they stayed there for a few days. Now that was the time when Jesus turned the water into wine. Now there are many things that we can reflect on this story, like how he is starting to reveal his glory to the world, how he is starting to reveal his lordship. But one of the things that I got from this, okay, and I'll be sharing you an analogy, is that he is modeling to us to give service to the community. In what way? It's just simple. He demonstrated this by helping solve a problem for the couple, for the community. Ikaw, as a young person, what can you do to serve in the community? What can you do to help solve problems? Ito ang pagnilay-nilayan natin ngayon. There are 2 phases in this passage. The first phase is telling us to listen, to receive. And the second one is telling us to act, to respond. So first phase, listen, receive. Let me draw your attention to the verse. Jesus was also invited to the wedding. He went there with his disciples, and the mother was also there. Meaning, he was participating in the community. He was involved. So that's a message for us, that we have to stay involved, participate in the community. But here's the thing, my friend, just be careful. Because, let me draw your attention to the verse, do whatever He tells you. Whatever Jesus tells you. Why am I saying this? Why am I highlighting us? It's because when we participate in the community, it could be that we could be swallowed by whatever is going on in the community, in the world. So yes, stay involved in the community, but we have to stay connected to Christ. We have to listen. And that's why we go to church. And that's why even if we cannot go, we attend online mass, right? We attend this virtual youth jam. We stay connected. We stay connected. The second phase is this. You act. You respond. Now, let me call your attention to the verses. 1, fill the jars with water. This is Jesus talking to the servants. 2, draw out some and take it to the steward. This is Jesus still to the servants. And 3, you have kept the best wine until the end. This is the steward talking to the bridegroom. Ano sinasabi sa atin ngayon ito? And I'm giving you an analogy here. 1, fill the jars with water. I think this is telling us to surrender what we have. To fill the jars in front of us. Ito oftentimes yung mga problema, nasa harap lang natin. Now, sabi sa kwento, nearby were 6 stone water jars. And sabi lang ni Jesus, sabi niya, fill the jars with water. Hindi na sinabing, get the jars inside and fill them with water. Or get the jars at the other side and fill them with water. No, maybe, I think, this is not mentioned, right? But I think, for this analogy, I think it was referring to the jars in front of them. So my friend, what are the problems in front of you? While it is good to do mission work in Africa or wherever, and that could be good, you don't have to wait for that. What are the jars in front of you? Fill those with water. Ano yung mga water na yan? It could be the things that you can do. Right? What can you fill them with? So that's number 1. Fill the jars with water. Ibig sabihin, you surrender what you have. You fill the jars with what you have. Now the second lesson is this. Sabi niya, draw out and take it to the steward. This is telling us to serve. That when we surrender what we have, Jesus will transform that into something good. Why? Because Jesus transformed water into wine. Your water, whatever you think is just your best, just your faint, humble response, Jesus can transform that into something magnificent. Now, we say that we share our time, talent, and treasure. Bilang isang kabataan, siguro marami kang time. Share that. Talent. Dami nating napagkit kanina. Kahit yung galing sa pagkain, di ba? Share that. Treasure? Maybe just a little bit. Kasi nag-aaral ka pa ngayon. Hindi ka pa kumikita. But once you start earning, share it. Alam mo, when I was in high school, I was just happy serving as a youth leader. Little did I know that I will be using that as I become a professional speaker, as an accountant. Little did I know that Jesus was transforming that water into wine. Our ways of organizing events then, di ba? Akala namin we're just serving the youth who are participating in those activities, pwedeng sports fest or whatever. But Jesus was turning those into something more. Into something more. And thirdly, my friend, ito, nakakatuwa. Kasi it was just active. And then, hindi ko alam kasi biglang may transfer dumating sa school namin. Hindi ko alam. Kasi feeling ko nun, pangit ako, simple lang. Hindi ko alam na nagka-crush sa akin yun. Bakit kaya, no? Maybe he just saw something in me. But because I was so active in church, alam mo ang ginawa nun? Hindi ko alam, hindi ko pinursuade, pero nagpabinyag siya sa church. Anong nangyari doon? Jesus turning the water into wine. This girl had a crush on a Christian, but it was meant to connect him to Christ. Wow. Ganun pala yun. Siyempre, hindi ko naman siya niligawan at that time. I was just observing. Alam niyo naman at that time, focus ko talaga school. But there, Jesus transforming water into wine. So again, the first one is fill the jars with water. Second is to draw out some and take it to the steward, meaning we serve what is transformed in us. And third, my friends, is this: you have kept the best wine until the end. Meaning, sinasabi sa atin that we have to sustain whatever good thing that we have started. Let's sustain this. Because when you do this, you will continue to be transformed. And as you get transformed and grow even more, then serve more. Serve more. As a youth, you can do a lot of things in the community. In our share in a while, we'll be sharing specific ways. So again, surrender, serve, and sustain. Kapatid, tanong ko sa iyo, what jars should you fill with water? How can you serve what is being transformed in you? And lastly, how else can you sustain the good things that you're doing today?